Yes, right, guys. Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy, and this is the Arsenal transfer roundup show. Basically, we'll be looking at all the major transfer updates that happened around the club in this week. It is Sunday, so basically, just going through what you people want to hear: updates around Bissouma, updates around Maddison, updates around Ruben Neves, and updates around AOUAR. What transpired in the week around the club in terms of transfers. That is what we do on this show. Please do smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure you do not forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and a couple of other other social media stuff. Just like you can see them on your screen. Just look for Cossy. Twitter, it is Cossy. Instagram, it is Cossy19. YouTube, it is Cossy's Arsenal podcast and Cossy90 more. Facebook, it is Cossy's Arsenal podcast as well. You'll be able to find me, and of course my numbers are scrolling down on your screen. If you want to talk to me via WhatsApp, if you want to talk to me via direct calls or anything like that, you'll be able to get me on. Right, let us start off with the major transfer news, and I'll start off with Ben White because many people have been asking me, Cossy, what is the update around Ben White? Now this week we had a massive update around Ben White, and the story was Arsenal did go in with a third bid for Ben White, and an agreement in principle was found between Arsenal and Brighton. Now the problem with this deal, and I told you, is only the Euros, and they definitely end today. So next week we expect big updates around Ben White. Where we are at the moment in terms of Ben White coming to Arsenal, there is a total agreement between Arsenal and Brighton on a £55 million deal. Arsenal will pay 48 million pounds in guaranteed payments, 2 million, actually 7 million, and in terms of add-ons, and that was the only problem that was actually getting in the middle of this deal. The first thing was Brighton wanted around 50 million pounds in guaranteed payments. Arsenal was only offering 46 upfront cash, or what you'd call guaranteed payments. They were offering 46 million. And the deal couldn't happen. Brighton were like, we're not giving you the player for that amount. So what basically happened is we went in with the third bid. Payment structures and all things were negotiated. We're just waiting for the Euros, and the man will be an Arsenal fan. Will be an Arsenal player, not an Arsenal fan. Definitely. Shout out to Gianluigi Di Marzio for breaking this story. Shout out to Fabrizio Romano as well. Shout out to Chris Whitley on his Instagram, broke this story as well. So shout outs to those men for giving us that update around Ben White. That is the massive update we had around Ben White through the week. Obviously on Sunday we did see the announcement of our first signing. Big signing. He comes in as a backup left back, and that was none other than Nuno Tavares from Benfica. I had spoken about it, and I said this week we could see Tavares announced as a national player, and yes, it did happen yesterday. It was Saturday, not Sunday, sorry. It was Saturday. Arsenal did announce Nuno Tavares as the first signing of the summer. Shirt number 20 will be his jersey, and of course, like I said, it's gonna be a backup to deputize Kian Tierney in that left back role. Honestly, welcome to Arsenal, Nuno Tavares. We are very happy to receive you at the club. We are so gutted that you have become a Guna at the moment, and we hope your journey actually doesn't end here. We hope you become one of the best players in the league, and of course one of the best fullbacks in the game. Right, so still talking about what happened in the week. In this week, Albert Sambi Lokonga, if you didn't know, if you have not watched the videos, Albert Sambi Lokonga, a lot happened with Albert Sambi Lokonga. The first thing is we had a deal agreed in principle with Anderlecht. 18 million euros plus 4 million euros. Actually, it was 18.5 million euros plus 4.5 million euros. If I may quote Fabrizio Romano, because that's what he said, that it's gonna be 4.5 million euros and 18.5 million euros in guaranteed payments. And of course, after agreeing the deal with in principle, there was a problem, and the problem was Anderlecht really wanted a sell-on clause in this deal. Arsenal didn't want to include a sell-on clause, and there was a lot of, there was a big fuss to an extent, and many people thought maybe, this deal could be hijacked, somehow, somewhere. And Fabrizio said the player is now an Arsenal man. Here we go. He turned down 2 offers from Italy to join Arsenal, and those 2 offers, of course, Fabrizio is Italian. He's never gonna throw his boys under the bus, but it was Napoli and Atlanta. Those 2 were much interested in getting in Albert Sambi-Lokonga, but the player rejected them and said, I want to play for Arsenal. I want to go out Arsenal. I want to challenge, in a big league. I want to go and get myself started on a big stage. So we welcome Albert Sambi-Lokonga. He arrived in, he finished his medicals in the Netherlands. He did everything. He did the first part of his medicals in the Netherlands, and of course he completed the second part of his medicals in the UK. You know what I mean? He arrived in the UK. He arrived at Arsenal, did his second part of the medicals, and now he is in self-isolation for a reported 10 days. It's reported that he might be in isolation for as long as 10 days. So we wait to see what actually happens with Albert Sambi-Lokonga. When is he going to be announced? For me, that is the real question. That is the real deal. Right, that is signing number 3 actually this week. Massive updates that really happened in the week. Of course, away from that, we did see Manuel Locatelli and his fuss a lot. Fabrizio saying there is nothing. Giovanni Canavelli saying there is something. I was a little bit frustrating for me and all the Arsenal fan base. Many people, hitting my inbox on Twitter and DM on Twitter. Cossy, what exactly is happening? Cossy, are we bringing Manuel Locatelli? Cossy, do you? It was a farce. It was a farce. But look, at the end, we had the truth. So this week, Giovanni Canavelli, the CEO of Sassuolo, actually came out and said Arsenal have made an official offer to Sassuolo for Manuel Locatelli. A couple of reports inside Arsenal, and around Italy rejected this, and they said no, Canavelli is a liar. Canavelli is lying. He's trying to get Juventus to pay more money than they're offering. There is actually nothing that happened between the 2 clubs, and there was that actually created some bit of calm. I should say the sea went a little bit calm, but again, Giovanni Canavelli came out and said we are in advanced talks with a club abroad. There is nothing between us and Juventus. There is a meeting scheduled between us and Juventus, but no negotiations are going on. The world went crazy. I'm telling you, the world went crazy. Same week, you had Juventus as well confirming that they are more interested and their priority is the man himself, Manuel Locatelli. So with this deal, what we have learned, at least with information that we have got this week, what we've learned is the player wants to play more for Juventus than Arsenal. Juventus are more interested in the player. He is their priority this summer, as well as Sassuolo would prefer to sell to Juventus rather than selling to Arsenal. I mean, it's a little bit, for me, it doesn't surprise me. I don't know why, but it really doesn't surprise me that the event of things are unfolding in this way. It's an Italian matter. It's an Italian, affair. I don't know why Arsenal is even getting involved. But as soon as the Euros end, Italy are playing in the finals of the Euros. A couple of reports have come and said Arsenal did want to wrap up this deal even before the Euros to beat off competition from the likes of Juventus and a couple of other clubs. But we actually failed to do that. So the big question around is, will Arsenal get Manuel Locatelli? According to information from the club and around the club this week, it looks very, very unlikely. Now, what is likely, if that deal is likely, is unlikely. What is likely is the Hougham AOUAR deal. Still in the same week, guys. Like I said, I'm wrapping up the week very, very fast. If you've not actually got, if you've not got the right information, please do check out the videos I have done. I've shot over 70 videos, more than 70 videos in this week alone. More than 70 videos in this. So make sure you do smash a like on the video and make sure you do check out those videos as well. So what actually happened with the AOUAR deal this week? Arsenal reportedly submitted a 20 million euro bid, which many sources close to Arsenal came out and said, look, we haven't put in that bid. And it was a little bit, look, that was a transfer that brought a lot of excitement in my heart as an Arsenal player, as an Arsenal fan, sorry. We really did like AOUAR last summer. I reported much about him, and look, I would have loved the opportunity to get him at Arsenal. So we reportedly put in that bid, and Lyon are secretly eyeing Nimes Algerian midfielder Zinedine Tahat to get him as a possible replacement of AOUAR. Now, the player is open to a deal. That is what we've learned this week. Basically, the player is very, very open to a deal to Arsenal, despite the fact that he wants Champions League. But now he knows most of the clubs that do have Champions League, they either do not have the money or they do not have the interest. So he will go with Arsenal if Arsenal are serious about him. Mikel Arteta is a big fan of the player, and many Arsenal fans are very, very big fans of AOUAR as well. Of course, we had a transfer first of we had a fuss of his agent being in London, and then a couple of days later, reports coming out said it wasn't his agent. It wasn't his agent. It was someone else. It was a friend. Look, I would care less. So AOUAR, we did have an update, and that is what we know at the moment. Yves Bissouma, Arsenal were preparing to get in a bid, but like I said, he was never their first option. Like Fabrizio said, he was never Arsenal's first option, and unless the other options fail, that is when Arsenal will try to go for Yves Bissouma. Of course, Brighton signing in Enoch Mwepu from Red Bull Salzburg really brought in a couple of opinions from pundits, journalists, fans. And you know football, that is the beauty with football, especially when it comes to transfers. There's a lot to digest, a lot to digest. But looks like Arsenal is actually more interested in Ruben Neves and AOUAR. Now, regarding Ruben Neves, of course, I did talk about him very much at the end of by the end of the week. I think I had covered around 3 or 4 stories around Ruben Neves, and I say that news reaching my desk showed that Ruben Neves is in talks with Arsenal. Arsenal offered him a 5-year contract. 5-year contract. His salary is not actually a problem. We offered him a 5-year contract, and we would love him to come at Arsenal. Of course, it's 4 years plus 1 year in what you would call plus an option to extend the contract by 1 year. So the man himself, Ruben Neves, wanted by Arsenal. We are in talks with Wolves. We are also in talks with the players' representatives to see that we can actually get him in. Finally, among players that were linked with Arsenal very, very closely is the man himself, James Maddison. Maddison has been linked with Arsenal in the past 48 hours, and I think I've done 2 stories about James Maddison. I will provide more information around James Maddison the moment I get it. But what we know from the AFC Bell, reliable, really, really reliable. They have said Arsenal are going to approach James Maddison in the coming weeks. A bid is incoming. We have talked to the representatives of the player, and the player has also agreed to play for Arsenal. We will discuss more of that when we get more information as per the AFC Bell. So, number 1 priority in terms of attacking midfield is James Maddison, right? So, guys, that is basically that was our week. We're linked with a couple of other players, but if you're talking about the major stories, if you're talking about the major updates, that was our week. My name is Cossy. Love you so much. I respect the fact that you guys waste your data to watch my streams, and I respect the fact that you guys do comment and smash the like button. Do subscribe. Make sure you're subscribing. If you do love the channel, give me a like. If you do like the content, do subscribe. And if you feel you want to get more notified when I go live, when I upload, make sure you don't waste a minute. Get that subscribe button and the notification bell on as well.